He has the ability to make tough decisions, and he listens to people, gets their input, and then he is rock solid when there's pressure. And he's had a lot of pressure, both at the Vikings with all the deals he did, and at the Big Ten as well.
Your tenure is going to finish with the Arlington Park racetrack situation with the new stadium. How soon do you think that's going to be finalized?
Well, where we're sitting now is, and it's been that way for a number of months, is our intent is to close this quarter. We're in that first quarter in 2023. That's our intent. If we do, doesn't mean we'll develop. There's a lot of work to be done. And we need to get property tax certainty, and we need to get infrastructure funding taken care of. Those are heavy lifts.
What will that be like for you, Ted, when this, if it ever does get going, and you've kind of started this process, and you're retired? Are you, like, what's that going to be like for you watching from the sidelines?
Yeah, I'll have mixed feelings. I'll be cheering for the Bears on the field, off the field. At the same time, I know I had a small part to play, but I know that I've left a lot of great employees who are going to, carry the torch along with Kevin and hopefully make it happen wherever it is, whatever we do. I think the future of the Bears is in good hands.
Ted, as your tenure's kind of ending, I don't know if you've got time to really reflect, but what do you think back on and wish would have went differently over that time?
I haven't had much time to reflect, but the one thing, and I think George alluded to it, is the on-field success hasn't been there. That's been a disappointment. Not a regret, but it's been a disappointment. Other than that, I feel pretty good about leaving the Bears in a better place than I started.
From your vantage point, what do you think were the main reasons why? There's a lot, but
Well,
what would you say?
Let's see, we've had 45 different quarterbacks, I think, since we won the Super Bowl, so that's probably number one.
Ted, in what ways do you feel Kevin's stadium building experience when you talk to him and just the asset that can be in this process?
Absolutely, and the fact that he's been in the Chicago area for the last almost 4 years, he's made a lot of connections, and you can feel his energy and passion just listening to him. So I'm excited about him infusing that energy and passion into the club and into everything we do.
You mentioned the amount of quarterbacks over the years. When you watched Justin this year, what was it like in this building knowing that he could be the guy long term? What was it like watching?
Very exciting. Hopefully he'll keep growing the way he grew leaps and bounds this year. If he can keep growing, he can definitely be the quarterback we're looking for. And I know Matt and Ryan are excited about the offseason getting started with him right away.
George spoke about 20 candidates, and he wouldn't say how many, what they were, but was there any other one that had checked the boxes as much as Kevin did as far as the stadium, his connection to the NFL and all those other variations?
Yeah, it was such a wide net. The process really was, it was kind of exciting because there were so many great candidates, and I don't want to talk about who they were or what they brought to the table, but there were other great candidates. Having Kevin have the NFL experience and stadium experience definitely were added bonuses that not many people had.
Ted, as for the escrow, is that going about the pace you thought it would? It's not behind schedule?
No, not at all. I think probably for the last 6 months we've been saying if we close, it'll be probably first quarter 2023. So we're still kind of looking at that right now.
Do you expect to close?
We do.
Ted, when you see some of these modern marble stadiums that have gone up, what are some of the things you write in your notebook on, like, man, that's a cool amenity, man, that's a really cool function and feature?
There's a lot of things. I mean, we need a lot of fan amenities because of the tight, just the tight site that Soldier Field's on, and the ingress egress issues, things like that are very difficult at Soldier Field. Somebody mentioned Minnesota, and I think if this goes forward, and I know we've been saying but if it goes forward, it will be an enclosed stadium, and we love what they did in Minnesota.
Turf is a big issue right now. They're studying the NFL. Would you think about having that kind of like the Cardinals do, where they can slide it in and out? Like, the turf that can be
Look, we're not
outside?
going to say no to anything right now. I'd be surprised if that was an approach we took. We're constantly, we have talked, and we're going to continue to talk to the league about the advancements in the turf technology. where, you're always worried about lower extremity injuries, and you don't want to go that direction if that's an issue. From what we're hearing, it's getting to be the point where turf and grass, in terms of lower extremity issues, if you use the right footwear, really there's not a lot of difference. But we want to see that over time.
John
Would it be more-
mentioned the Cardinals. They have a suburban stadium, they have
Yep.
a dome. Have you looked at what they've done there, and if so, what do you think?
About Arizona's
Yeah.
stadium? Yeah, that's a great stadium. It works for them. I'm not sure right now. We haven't even designed the stadium. Right now, it's just a footprint if we end up developing that site. So it's kind of hard to start ticking off different features of stadiums, but I think you guys all know what's needed at Soldier Field in terms of fan
How
amenities.
about the design for like the entire district that you guys want to build there? What type of feedback did you get for your plan for that? And what do you like maybe about New England or Glendale where they have everything around the stadium?
Yeah, well, obviously, 326 acres, again, if it happens, we'll have a lot more than just a stadium on it. But we haven't even gotten to the point, until we decide to develop, we aren't really talking to developers about what that site could be, other than what we think would be a wonderful 365-day-a-year entertainment district.
It seems like a ton of Bears fans are excited about it, but there's some that don't want change, love being in the city, and I'm sure there's part of you that loves the Bears being in the city. What's your?
It's a great site. I mean,
Yes.
the location is picturesque, and we love the city of Chicago. We're always gonna, even if we end up developing that site, we're still gonna have a presence in the city, and we're gonna be invested in the community, and we're gonna still be the Chicago Bears. But we're so far from that right now, it's still hard to tell where it's gonna go.
Ted, if or when this is finally happening, will there be more public forums for the people that live around there to talk to the team about what they want? And what
Yeah,
they
of
expect?
course, and we've already, in our preliminary due diligence, we've talked to community leaders, businesses, fans, legislative leaders about, what it could be. So yes, as we move forward, if we move forward, we'll definitely have involvement with the community, because it has to work for them too, not just for the
Ted,
Bears.
as Kevin was conducting, what was going through your mind as you're listening to him talk like we are now?
I thought he knocked it out of the park. He showed so much passion and energy and love for the Bears, which came through in his interviews, but it came through for me even more in that press conference. And I can tell he's getting so excited to get started, so I can't wait to sit down with him more and, debrief with him on every aspect of the Bears business.
Yeah, it was a lot, right?
There's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on. And but he is a high-energy guy who has incredible work ethic. I've never met anyone that probably works as hard as he does, and he kind of showed it about his comments about being at the stadium and always being on and meeting partners. That's going to have great benefits for us.
Do you remember the 27-year-old version of Kevin Warren when he was negotiating? And what was that like? Was it a fireworks show?
Well, we've talked about that deal for Chris Zorich as a second-round draft pick, and we called it a draw.
Ted, knowing what you know about the job and about this organization, what's your best advice, or what is Kevin Warren's biggest responsibility? What do you think is the key for him to be successful in this job, in this building?
Yeah, I've been here for so many years. I think the most important thing, and he touched on it, is building trust and rapport with the staff that's here, listening to their input, and I know he'll do that because he's done that everywhere he's been.
Do you think not having an outside guy, somebody with new ideas that hasn't really been in there, is that a benefit? I mean, how much of a benefit? Do you think that will?
It wasn't a priority when we did the search. But the fact that he is from the outside definitely gives us the benefit of diversity of thought, and it's a new, fresh perspective. And when we began the search, I've mentioned to George that let's get someone who can re-energize the staff. Not that, I feel great. I have great relationships with people here, but he will bring a new energy and a new perspective that I think, and he will hold people accountable and challenge people in a way that I think will be great for the organization.
He
moving
mentioned
forward.
that it's pivotal time right now for the franchise.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Of
Based
course.
on everything that's lined up at the
Sure it
moment?
is. I mean, besides the potential of development, we still have 11 years left on our lease at Soldier Field. We have a team that was 3-14. We need to improve there. We want the quarterback to get better. There's so much here, and there's upside on the business side too. And he's got great experience in sponsorships. He's got great business connections and political connections in the Chicagoland area too.
And you've had a lot of time already to reflect on what you have done here. Are you able to put it in a frame right now for us right here now?
No, I'm really not. It's been a whirlwind going through this process. I can tell you that, as you know, Jeff, 40 years, same organization, family organization, unbelievable blessing. I've had different opportunities. I've been the president and CEO for 23 plus years, and I feel like I've left the Bears, or I'm going to leave the Bears in a better place than when I started. With that, I'm happy to turn over the baton to Kevin, and I'm going to stay here until he's ready to start, and I'll be glad to continue that transition afterwards if it takes time, because I owe a lot to the McCaskey family.
What have you told Kevin about your job, the pressure, the scrutiny, the media? I'm just curious, what type of feedback have you given him about what he's walking into?
We haven't talked a lot about it yet. He's been in this environment. He's been in a pressure cooker with the Big Ten, obviously. He's had a deal with, which is another benefit for him being here, is he's had a deal with 14 different chancellors, 14 different athletic directors, everybody with a different agenda and a different idea on how to do things, and people who are highly intelligent. And he has navigated that really well and has produced results. So,
What do you think you'll miss the most, if I may? What do you think you'll miss the most, and what are you looking forward to the most?
the people, relationships I've built, I'll miss a lot. What I'm looking forward to is getting my time back. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Ted, one quick one, and
Yeah.
I kind of asked Kevin in the other room, what, in terms of the navigations that you have to have in this job, with politicians, Springfield, Chicago, everything, you were able to get a deal done for a stadium. It wasn't the suburban stadium. What advice would you give him, are you giving him, to navigate those political waters and actually get a deal done? Because George Halas himself tried this in the 70s at Arlington Park, and nothing, you're still at Soldier Field. If this doesn't happen, are the Bears still going to have to go back to City Hall and strike up some deal for Soldier Field?
I think my simple advice would be yourself, be transparent, be honest with your dealings, and that will always serve you well in the end.